Ah, welcome back. Welcome to this week of Hackmaster, everyone, and all the players and viewers and all that jazz. Dennis is at the moment also taking part in a podiatrist conference. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep. So,
I don't know. Go ahead.
so we don't know if he might drop in and out as he checks into his classes and is a good student. So,
Right.
we might have a one or two little points where he disappeared, but that's scheduled. All right. So last week, you guys re-met up with Eric as you found the hermit that had saved his life. You guys had been bypassed by the witch hunters as they continued to tear on, and you guys trekked to Bashon, where you guys begun to dig up a little dirt and kind of look around and ask some questions and begin to discover some things. At the end of the last session, I believe uh, Hoxic had discovered a library and was starting to look around for some history of uh, this mountain that you guys found on your treasure map.
Mm-hmm.
Armon had gone around and started picking up rumors, and so since that's where we had left off, I dropped some rumors into our chat, but well, people that listen to us can't really hear our
How dare you
chat.
say that about me?
So you're asking around and looking for rumors of the local area, and so I'll just rehash those rumors. I brought them down into our chat at the very beginning of, or at least last night. So in what suspect is mobilization for war, there's been a lot more witch hunters in more zealous numbers to the north of Shinabeth, and a certain hunter by the name of Schmock has even been rumored to be on to a cell of true clerics, and even has been heard to have captured one. The second one is you've heard that ore from the mines near Roby have been slow on arriving. Thirdly, neither Slen nor Shinabeth troops have been able to capture Red Claws, a famous a famous and fearsome bugbear who terrorizes everyone who tries to live in the Godra uplands. And the Godra uplands are just to the north, right? Oh, I'm on to the north right here. To the north of Bashon. And a collector of eccentricities in Gaineth has recently hosted a merchant from the island continent of Svimosia, and their goods and customs brought a stir of activity wherever they went as they traveled along the main road. And finally, Dwarven vagabonds have been attacking travelers coming in and out of Bashon, and it's enough to make some people nervous to travel. So that is what you've heard while you were doing your reconnaissance of the town and picking up rumors.
That included the rumors from the other direction, right?
Yes, yeah, that included rumors from the other direction as well.
All right.
And so you were collecting rumors. Hoxic was visiting the library, and I believe Eric, Orbel, and Elka were all visiting a tavern.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah. And we paid to have them fetch the dwarf quietly so that he doesn't run into the witch hunters.
Yep. You had sent them to fetch, was that Hoxic? So that they could, Hoxic. So Hoxic, you are looking through this library and you're trying to find anything on this Dwarven mountain. Are you literate?
I am in Dwarvish.
You are in Dwarvish, so you're hoping to try to find something in Dwarvish in this library that relates to this mountain.
Right.
So there isn't any Or actually, I'm going to have you roll a scrutiny check as you're looking through and checking through this library, and this will take a serious amount of time to just look through the entire library and try to find something dwarfish.
Right, of course. So let's go ahead and give it a go. I'm actually good at this, and I roll decently.
Right, so you've gotten a little bit of assistance, and you've been pointed in the direction of a number of dwarvish books and a number of sections that have dwarven books, and you're starting to look through them, and you're having to pull all these books off the shelves and read through them, and you have a literacy of 13%, so it might be a little tough going as you're trying to, you have to look up some words, and it's a little difficult, but as you're doing that, you hear Ham, Master Dwarf.
Yeah.
You look over your shoulder and you see there's a young what you guess is an urchin boy. He's dressed in a little bit of rags, and there's the librarian is right on his shoulder, and the librarian says, "Hoxic, this urchin said that he had to reach you." Yep. Yes. Yes, I've been sent by your friends to fetch you to the inn. Most secret like,
Oh, I guess they did have to pick a place to rest for the night. I guess better figure out where that is, just so I don't lose track of them. It's a big city. So I'll go with them.
All right, so he begins leading you through Bashan, and you're a fighter thief, correct?
Correct.
And so as that thief part of your training is kind of kicks in as he begins leading you through Bashan, as you notice you're not taking any of the main roads, and you're mainly going through side roads and tertiary roads or even alleyways to move through town.
Yeah, trying to avoid attention, which is very interesting. Oxlick doesn't say anything about it to the urchin, though. But
Right,
he's
so
pretty used to this.
yeah, and you did travel on the main roads to get here, and or main avenues, and so yeah, it could certainly be unusual. And so he leads you through most of the town. Can I have you roll a observation check?
Of course. Let's do it. Yeah, my eyes, they're not so good, you see.
Yep. So you're winding through town, and as you're moving towards this inn, you see there's some folks moving in the opposite direction, and it seems like something in town is kind of pulling everyone in almost the opposite direction that you're heading.
That's kind of strange. Or are these like official people heading deeper into town or something? Or what's up with this group?
They look like random passerbyers in town are all starting to head in one direction. Maybe you even stop and you like look out one of the streets and you see a maybe three or four people, and one of them come up and they begin chatting, and you see one of them get a little bit animated, start making some arm gestures, like I'm common to do, and the all four of them head back in the direction that one person had come from.
Strange. Well, without further context, and given that this urchin says that we should be quiet and move around without being seen, probably not going to draw attention to myself looking into that yet. But that is interesting.
Okay, so he continues leading you on, and he eventually reaches the backside of what looks like an inn. You can smell food, you can hear some stuff coming from the common room, and the clink of glasses, and there's a little stable off to the side where you see some horses have been put up, and he takes you to a back door, and he opens it to a bedroom, and he says, "This is your room. It's It's what I've been directed to lead you to.
All right, thanks, kid. And I'll just head on in.
And so this door that you're opening into, it actually leads into the back of a closet that's been left open, and so you're able to step inside, shut the door, and then shut the closet, and you're in what looks like a small in room. It's got two beds and a decent amount of space.
Mm-hmm.
You see, there's even been several cots, 3 more cots added as well, or bedrolls piled up on the side to give you all somewhere to sleep if you don't want to cuddle up on the beds.
And I guess, is everyone here right now, or did they tell me to come here and they all left?
There's no one in the room at this time.
Hoxic is going to cross his arms a little sourly. He's going to go over to one of the twin beds. He's going to slide everything that may have been put onto it off, and he's going to put all of his stuff on top of it.
Okay.
And Hoxic will go ahead and take a nap until people show up.
So, Orbital, Eric, and Elka, the 3 of you are sitting in the inn. You know, you're sitting by the table, you know, drinking the ales you've been drank and generally discussing. Can the 3 of you make observation checks?
Yes, we can.
All right. So Orbital and Eric, the 2 of you, maybe you really haven't had an ale in a while, and you're discussing something really, you're discussing even a tracking method or something between the 2 of you that, you guys really connect on. One's a barbarian, one's a ranger. You're both outdoorsy types. But Elka, you've noticed that the common room around you has really started to empty out, and you're one of the last 2 tables. There's another table with just a single person drinking in it, and it looks like they're, with the amount that they've drunk, it looks like they're gonna stay at that table. And the door opens, and you see that little urchin that you guys had seen the innkeeper talking to earlier. And he approaches you, and or he approaches the innkeeper and whispers something, and you see the innkeeper, if you recall, he was a dwarf, make his way back over, and you lot might be interested in your rooms. The sheets have been just washed for you. They're clean.
Sounds like a good idea.
Clean.
I'm a bit tired myself. So I think we should retire. If you guys don't mind.
Elka's tired too.
Tap Eric on the shoulder, go like, oh.
Yeah, that's falling asleep. Yeah, let's go.
All right, so the 3 of you, trudge back to your room, which is kindly on the first floor, and you you open it up, and you see that Hoxic is laying on one of the beds, already starting to snore a little bit, and there's just a mess of stuff that's been knocked onto the floor, and all of his stuff is sitting on one of the beds.
I kick him on the boot, just like wake him up. Like,
And Hoxic just rolls over a bit.
I kick him again.
Can't you see I'm trying to nap here? That's where all y'all are here. Hey. You think sleeping for 5 minutes will make my head so dizzy? So, what's all this about being sneaky and quiet now?
Well, if you didn't notice, they don't like our. Well, I point at him and then at me. They don't like our kind around here, so we thought maybe a good idea that you could, get here without being spotted and hunted down by the witch hunters.
You ever try a hood?
I'm still mostly covered in white fur and pretty tall and gangly.
I got a shaver around here somewhere. You can borrow mine. It's only a little rusty.
Nah, that's not
All right, so they don't like you, and I don't think they like me here either, honestly.
So you see anything exciting outside when you were there?
Exciting? No. Little strange? Yeah. Books? Not so much. I found where the main library is. I'm thinking I might go back there and start scrounging around a while longer. Didn't really find anything by the time that little kid came by for me.
Yeah, well, we played it safe. I hope you don't mind. I mean, once now you know how to go in and out, it might be easy to do whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah, convenient closet access. I can steal from wherever I want now.
Well, you do that on your own time and don't bring trouble to us. We'll be fine.
I know how to work a shift.
Well,
Still,
I think if you start doing that, the locals are gonna ask for their fee.
yeah, I've never been one to really share.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Personal problem side though. So what's the plan then, boss?
Well, we need to get more information on these people and try to get a way to get into the castle.
What do you think's in the castle?
Well, if that's the headquarters and that's your brother in there, then I think that's where they're gonna have him.
That's a tough sell for sure.
Yeah.
This ain't just some rinky-dink middle of nowhere nobles tiny fort where they like to pretend to be king or nothing. I mean, that'd be hard enough as it is, but at least we could trick our way inside of those. This, I mean, I think people might take the job seriously.
Oh, that or find out if your brother's still alive, which would be the cemetery if they bury him.
Yeah. We'll just have to ask around. I poked the innkeeper for some info, so maybe he'll bring something back. Tomorrow. Maybe getting some hooded cloaks might be a good idea for you and me, Orville. So we could be a little less noticeable, and maybe
Makes
we
sense.
stick to getting out right at night or at dusk versus being out during the day. For you and me, anyway.
That makes sense. Yep.
Given that I'm less conspicuous than you guys, I can also go out and do some searching during the daytime.
Yeah.
That'll work. Yeah.
Yep. I'm gonna take this corner over here. I drop my things down and put my sword on my lap, and I'm gonna get some sleep now.
Yeah, so I guess phase
All right.
one tomorrow then. Figure out all the things.
Yep. I take one of the cots. It's easy to just drop in there and just sleep. I'm not so used to self beds, at least not for a while.
Okay. It is. It isn't dark yet. You guys are just sent to fetch the dwarf so that he would be safe and get to the inn. So it's not quite dark yet, but you're more than welcome to sleep if you guys want to try to get an early rise.
Oh, I mean, everybody left the common room, right?
Yes, everyone left the common room.
Yeah, I asked. I sort of ask if they're switching, from the day crowd to the night crowd.
You're going to ask the innkeeper?
Yeah, it's kind of weird that people just leave. Well, depending on who these people are, they're going to work at night, then I get that's why they're leaving. But I'm not going to ask that directly.
No. Matter of fact, those folks usually don't clear out until much later. Still got my regular, though. Points to the corner where you still got the one guy drinking.
So what was that all about?
Uh, I heard one of them say something about a burning. But I don't know what they meant.
Oh, the witch hunters roam this place, so they burn witches.
Could be that. Could be that. I've had a stir of trouble recently in town. Folks are a lot more hot-blooded. Could be that.
It's interesting. And I wonder, where is our new friend who is a healer? Where did he go?
Good question. So, Aramon, you're out and about, meandering around, picking up rumors, and asking about the local area, and trying to get a good handle of what's happening around Bashan. And you see a large crowd making their way down the main down the main avenue towards where you stand. You were just talking to a meat vendor, and you see a good crowd making their way down. You see people from like side streets all kind of joining the crowd and peeking and rubbernecking to see what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I'll join in the rubbernecking.
You see that the core of the mob consists of about a score or so of what look like burly workmen. They look belligerent, and you see one or two of them even have bottles. And in between them, they've got kind of poorly hogtied is what looks like a dwarf. While two of them are kind of yelling obscenities at the dwarf. One of them is trying to hoist up a rope onto a nearby tree that lines one of the roads.
Okay. I'll watch.
All right. So you're watching, and you're watching as the it's an interesting affair as a total as they attempt it. It's almost like watching the Three Stooges out here, as you're seeing them bungle around, and they try to tie the rope around the tree, and it slips, and they try to get the dwarf situated, and they can't quite get him on this uh, on this rope, and he's fighting against them and trying to get out of uh, their grasp. And at one point, it converts into a wrestling match, and they finally get stuff straightened out. And as they're getting ready, the constabulary arrives, and several city guards finally manage to push their way through the crowd and kind of break up what's happening. They go straight towards these rabble rousers, and a few of them kind of raise their fists or uh, their their bottle drunkenly, and kind of they start yelling back at the guards, and the guards kind of push him aside or raise a sap, and the rabble rousers easily like disperse from this dwarf. And you see the guards kind of, there two of them grab the dwarf, while the rest start crying out to, "Oh, disperse, there's nothing to see here, move along, move along." And as they're dispersing the crowd, you see two of them carry off that dwarf uh, in what you assume is the direction of the city garrison.
Right.
This it probably takes this whole affair is probably 20 to 30 minutes, over the course of 20 to 30 minutes, as you stand there watching, as this begins to disperse, as the guards are kind of breaking it up. What would you like to do?
Wander on.
Sorry, say that again.
Wander on.
All right, where would you like to wander next?
I guess I'm just gonna keep getting rumors. The problem here is that I broke off from the rest of the party the moment we entered town. so I have no idea where they're at, and apparently they only cared about finding Huxic. So I'm gonna keep talking to people until either I get tired and get my own room somewhere, or we encounter each other again.
So, speaking of that, the four of you are sitting in your room, and it's starting to get later, and there's been some more folks trickling into the common room, and you can hear it from where you are in your room.
Mm-hmm.
Unless someone wants to be in the common room. Is anyone going to be in the common room?
I'll guess I'll be in the common room. It's
I'll
too
go get a
early to-
drink.
Yeah.
All right. Then you
I'm
actually
sleeping.
you actually see the folks begin to trickle back into the common room. Eric is currently sleeping. I mean, you are severely wounded still. Lunella, what are you doing?
I'm just hanging out in the common room, I guess. I'll be there. Watching what's going on, observing the keeper.
Okay. So you guys observe as more people trickle into the common room, and you can catch bits and pieces of what they're talking about. Some of them are more, I can't believe they went right after the dwarf like that, and some are, I can't believe the guards got there. It was so close. I wanted to see if they'd go through with it. Or others are, I don't know what's going on in this town. That's never happened before. You hear a variety of chit chat. What would you like to do?
I'd like to go up and kind of ask someone what they're talking about.
Oh, why? You didn't hear what happened? You weren't there?
Oh no, I wasn't there. I'm curious what everyone's so excited about.
Oh, it was crazy. They couple folks from around town. They rounded up a dwarf, and they they tried to hang the bastard.
Really?
Swear to God. Well, yep.
What happened to the dwarf? Is he gone?
The guards snagged him. Who knows?
Do you know where they took him?
I really didn't follow him, lady, but maybe the garrison.
Oh, what did the dwarf do?
Beats me.
Huh. Interesting. Well, thank you. And Elka will just kind of go back to her spot and keep drinking her mead.
Okay.
Well then, that's something.
So they're out here murdering dwarves. Hmm.
Well, I guess all the more reason to keep my head down.
You also notice that Armon is not here yet.
When we
Armand.
split, I think we actually did say something about
No, because I immediately, the first thing when we entered town was that I was going to go try and pick up rumors to get information. And we went like 3 different ways, and you specifically talked to the innkeeper about finding your friends. But apparently, the gist that I'm now getting is that you only cared about finding Huxics. So,
yeah, I guess it was just a
hey, I'm not. I only anointed you into my religion. Well, who am I, right?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you guys did split off.
Yeah, I guess it was
Before you and-
miscommunication, basically.
Elka's a little concerned then of where her comrade is. So she'll go outside and kind of look out on the street to see if there's anyone near the inn.
All right. You step out onto the streets and you're looking around. Roll an observation check. Yeah, you're peering around, and it's right about this time that you see at the end of the street at one of the intersections, you see a black cloaked figure get to one intersection and look up at several of the various signs for for inns kind of along this large street, and you see him turn towards another one called Sage's Wages.
Okay. I'll go up to him and say, Araman?
Armand, you're wandering the streets looking for whatever tavern could potentially hold
Sage's Wages.
the rest of the folks, and you hear Elka behind you.
Ah, yes. Elka.
We have a room, you know?
Just one room?
One room. It's enough for all of us.
Okay. Well, then, shall we adjourn?
Yes. And so I will lead Ariman back to our little room. Strange place.
Are you taking him in the back entrance or just in the front?
The back entrance.
All right. So she leads you down an alley and into the back of a tavern where there's a small door set in the wall, and she opens it up, and looking inside you see a bunch of clothing, and then the inside of a closet. A lot of dwarven undergarments have been hung up there since the last person came in.
Gross.
And pushing in, you'd see Eric sleeping, and the rest of everyone else doesn't appear to be in the room. So it's just the two of you and sleeping Eric. Eric, did you take the other bed? Did you take the bed that Hawksick slept on, or are you sleeping on the ground?
I'm sleeping on the ground in the corner.
Okay.
Elka
Propped
will
up on the wall.
Elka will sleep on the ground too.
So Elka leads you in, Armand, and then immediately tucks in for the night on the floor.
She's done.
I mean, if there's a chair there, I only need 3 hours of sleep, so.
Yeah, we'll
Well,
say
you get
there's
the
a chair.
comfiest 3 hours of everyone.
Well, I mean, I don't need much. I just sit there in a chair, fold my arms, head down, be up before everybody else wakes up. Cook a meal, bring it back to the room, I guess.
Debones something.
Okay. So Hawksick and Orble, you're sitting there chatting with Elka and sipping on some meads, and Elka stands up and wanders out to the indoor. You see her stand there at the entrance and look around as the door shuts. And then about 15 minutes go by, and Elka is nowhere to be seen.
I get up, like I'll be right back. And I go out and see if I can see her in somewhere in the street. I was like,
Yeah, you look around and you don't see anyone you recognize out on the streets. It's starting to get a little bit darker, but you have low light vision, so you can still see perfectly fine. And with the little bit of light that you have and some torches, you're not recognizing anyone on the streets.
but is there anybody like standing near, maybe the lamp lighters are setting up the lamps if they have them or something like that?
Yeah, there's a few lamplighter's making their way down, lighting it.
I put my hood over and go to one of the lamplighters and it's like, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Have you seen, and I describe Elka, tall, muscular, young lady, wandering about?
Wandering about. No, I haven't seen anyone wandering about, but I did see someone like that with a black cloaked stranger.
Ooh.
Walked off into yonder alley.
Oh, well, it's just dark. People shouldn't go into alleys like that. Thank you. Being a lot of help.
Good luck.
Thank you. And I do not go into the alley because I know the alley. What we're supposed to go inside. I don't want anybody watching me and saying, "Hey, you're going to that." So I go back to the common room, and then I mosey over to the. I tap on the table to Erica. I'm like, I'm still here. Mostly over to our room from the front door, and peek in, see who's there.
Yeah, and you see the three of them slumbering.
And I go back to the drinking.
Going back to the drinking. With the two of you drinking, how much are you trying to drink tonight? Or are you just you going at a casual pace, or you
Casual
pound
pace?
them down?
No. I'm not one to be a heavy drinker. Not that I don't get drunk. It's just that I'm a strange town and surrounded by people, and it's okay just to have a couple of ales, but that's about it.
Okay. It's a pretty nice common room. They have a decent enough bard. He even knows a Dwarven song or two, which reminds Hawksick of home, maybe for good or for worse. But eventually, the two of you, do you have anything you want to specifically do that night, or would you like to just move on to the next morning?
Yeah, unless there's anything else happens, I'll move to the next morning.
Yeah, sleeping sounds good.
Yeah, so it's a nice little night, but eventually you crash where you can, and in the morning the sun's rising. Armand's got maybe breakfast already made. Everyone can do a day of healing.
Do I even have wounds? Nope, I'm good.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not bad. It's good enough to make that gruel from standard trail ration or standard rations. What would you guys like to do the next day?
Well, I think the dwarf is going to go to the library, and I actually asked our elven friend what did he see outside.
Huxix is your name? Yes.
Yeah.
I believe I should have a word with you.
Alright, that was like 9 words.
Perhaps in private.
Hoxie looks around. Nah, I thought we were in a room already.
Fair
You need more privacy?
enough. I do not believe that you should wander the streets alone.
You're not wrong.
There have been rumors of dwarven vagabonds, and I believe the townsfolk have taken to street justice.
Not that I can't handle myself in a fight, but I guess my reputation precedes me if they're that anxious.
They are lynching people.
As they're wont to do, I'm sure. So what's your
In
suggestion? You want to come with me?
crowds.
So what's your suggestion? You want to come with me?
My suggestion might be that you should leave town.
Really? And Hox just looks expectantly as if you're going to say more for a little bit.
I do not.
Okay.
So there's an awkward silence between the two of you where Hawksix is waiting and Aramon's not intending to say anything.
Oxic will kind of shrug and go, well, I'm the only one who can read around here. Not even that great. How are you guys going to figure out where this mountain is?
You mean read Dwarven?
Yep,
Right.
the only written word worth reading.
Don't get me started on all those Dwarven trash mags.
I'm interested in this turn of Aramon's voice. When he gets gossipy, that's his voice.
Suddenly he picks up, develops a New Jersey accent. Hey, Armin, I'm hawking you. Yeah.
I'm from the congregation of dead.
Mashugana, please.
What a plot twist.
You just get him started talking about magazines, and he just speeds up real quick.
Oh,
I clear my throat, stand up, and start buckling on my gear. Leave? Did I hear you say leave, old man? We ain't leaving here until we find my brother, and that's that.
I did not say anything about you.
I heard you talking to that dwarf about leaving.
I suggested that he would best be suited to leaving before a lynch mob would end him.
He's best suited figuring out what's on that map that me and my brother found, and then you helping us find my brother. That's what he's best suited for. You hear me?
I do not care for your tone of voice.
I grunt, turn around, and look for something to eat in my
I
pack.
have made a delicious meal. It is there on the table if you are so inclined.
Well, thank you. What's in there? There's no people in there, is there?
Grubs, mealworms, and gruel.
Thank you. I'll just stick to
And
what I got in my pack.
some trail rations.
I'll just stick to what I have, thanks.
By the way, Eli, quick aside.
Yeah.
Merchant's tongue. Literacy version of that or no? Because, yeah, that's still a question. It's been hanging in the air.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if Merchant's Tongue has a literary form.
Okay, because I have listed. I put down. I trained literacy in a third language. I have 4 languages, but in my third one, I put Merchant's Tongue down, and I put literacy because I put points into it. And it's like, wait a second, this is literally a tongue is in the thing. So is it
I'm
not?
gonna say no. I'm gonna say there isn't, because like Merchant's Tongues develops just from a bunch of like jargon that everyone speaks, so it's a compilation of like all the languages. I'm gonna say no, it doesn't have a written tongue.
All right, I'll have to figure out what to do with that point investment that already exists.
But if you have that 4th language, so if you want to, you can just move that.
I'm literate in all 4
literacy
of the
percent.
language that I speak already. So
We've invented a new written language.
like I said, I'll have to figure out because it's past the point. I don't know how many BPs I threw into that. So
it looks like 1. It's probably 1.
we'll see. I don't know if it's tied to my what's the thing? I have quad, poly, whatever. Where is that on the sheet?
Like polylingual.
Yeah, I had polylingual multiple times, so I'm quadlingual.
Yeah, that just applies to the proficiency level and not to the literacy level.
Okay, I don't remember. I just remember I spent the points. I was very
Yeah.
meticulous back when I made the character, to the point now that I do not remember exactly everything. Languages was
That's
like one
okay.
of the first steps.
And I'll double check, but I'm fairly certain.
Maybe I'll be illiterate in a language that I can't even speak.
That you can totally do that. Actually, that's something you can completely do as well. You don't actually have to be able to speak a language to read it.
Hey there, dwarf! I can read that. I can't say it, but I can read that.
What a strange combination.
I'm a strange dude.
So the five of you are sitting around eating breakfast that Mama Aramon made for you. What would you all like to do today? I heard some mention of the dwarf going to the library, but then Aramon kind of raised some concerns.
Yeah.
Well, here's my idea then. I'm not a stranger to hoofing it. I could leave town and set up camp outside, or I could just stay here in the inn too. I think both kind of work out in our favor. And if any of you happen to need someone who reads Dwarvish, well, then you know where to find me.
I
I'll stay low until you guys have something for me.
do not believe that camping just outside of town would be the most advantageous position for you to be taking at this particular junction.
In room it is then.
And I agree with that. You should stay, with us. Plus, I'm the one that got you out of the jail. You were in the jail cell. So I think you owe me and my brother a little something.
There's a statute of limitations on that, isn't there? I mean, it's been 3 weeks.
So what? I just save your ass and you do nothing?
I ain't saying I'm doing nothing. I'm saying I'm waiting to do something.
I think you need to figure out where that place is on that map. It's not on the map. I can't believe it's not on the map.
All right then.
As
Is the
somebody
place
that's literally spent 24 hours real life deciphering that map, I can tell you it's not on that map. I put
Well, I know it's
time
not
and
on the
hard
map, too,
work into
but-
deciphering that shit.
Yeah.
I ruined my eyeballs.
And then I told you there was a higher def.
Yeah, no, I was using the real blurry quality map, and I deciphered that shit 100%.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
impressive.
It was tough, man.
All right. So which one of you is coming with me
To stay in the room?
to the library?
To the
Huh?
library.
Oh, you're going to the library. Okay,
If Eric is so insistent. All right, Delka, you're with me then.
I'll go with you.
And Hawksick will attempt to follow the same back streets and stay out of people's eyes the same way the urchin did the other day.
Yeah. It's you've got Elka with you, and that draws a little bit of attention, but you mainly manage to make it to the library without being stopped. You get a few eyes here and there by a couple people you walk by, but no one tries to stop you or overly harass you.
Okay. And then once I'm there, I basically intend to just spend the entire day there looking.
Elka, can you read?
Nope.
So you get escorted by, or Hawksick takes you to this library where he sits down and begins flipping through some tombs filled with dwarven runes, and you're just kind of standing there. See, everyone else is reading books.
Elka hardly knows what a book is, so she just wants to sit at a table and kind of just tap her finger there. She's pretty young. She's only 17, so she's just kind of enamored by the whole thing.
All right, so this one is Dari Baddie, which is badass dwarf, right? But if you flip them around, they're bad. Bad dwarf, see? Yeah. So when you're referring to me, you want to use Dwarven badass.
Dwarven bad.
Close enough. We'll get some culture in you somehow.
Yes, sir.
So
Dwarf ass bad.
you're starting to, and this could be like, so if Elka did want to learn how to read from Hoxic, this is a good,
Ooh.
time when you could learn to do that.
Time for Elka to get educated.
In Dwarven curse words.
She'll become like a dwarf, basically.
I'll teach you so many Dwarven swear words you can hold a whole conversation with just them.
Please show me all of them.
Oh, it'll be my pleasure.
Naturally.
So while those two are goofing around in a library, what is Orbital, Eric, and Aramon up to?
We go looking for. Interesting. I'm gonna try to ask where one can buy more arrows.
Yeah, it's easy to find a yeoman in town, or a Fletcher. It would be. Are you looking for longbow or shortbow arrows?
Longbow.
Let me see. There is high availability in this town, so there's a pretty good chance you'll find it. There's a 75% chance. Unfortunately, you're searching around and you find several Fletchers, but none of them have longbow arrows in stock. Several of them talk about how mainly hunters in this area use short bows, and the main longbows are used up at the castle. One of them says they could make some arrows for you, but it would just take some time.
How long and how much?
It'd take about 3 days. Well, how much do you want? But a single purchase, so 10 of them would take him about 3 days.
That'll be fine. Yeah.
And he charges. He'll charge 3 silver pieces for it.
Fair enough. I'm not gonna try to debate him out of it because I'm pushing my luck being who I am. So it's like, sure, Yeah.
All right, so he'll take your coin or half of it if you want to do like a pay up front, or
I'll give him 2 out of 3.
Okay, so you pay him, and you see him. Maybe he asks you a few questions about what you like. He even has you draw back your longbow, and he thanks you, and then you see him already start to working
I
on it.
a lot about hunting game, and I saw some small forests, like hilltop, deer here, like smaller deer that and maybe Also, I asked about how are the local lords about hunting in this area? Do they care? Do they like forestry laws and stuff like that? Do they really enforce them? Do they care a lot?
Yep. So, by the way, I did some more research because I think last session or 2 sessions ago we talked about the difference between current affairs and glean information. So this is an example of a glean information when you're looking for rumors about a specific subject. And then current affairs is like looking for any rumor, and just like kind of like a wide net. So roll a glean information check for me.
43 out of 10.
All right. This is someone that you've been talking to, and so I'd say they're kind of a friend. You've purchased from them already, so it's almost like you've started with a bribe. And so this is an easy check. So within 80% of your glean information, so 90% essentially. So you're asking about, and he says, well, most of these arrows I make aren't for hunting. They're for killing Slenites and orcs and goblins up in these mountains, and between you and me, maybe even for some of these dwarves that have started attacking folks out traveling.